going to be John here in the
All
background.
right, let me do my great intro.
And we're live.
What is going on, dudes and dudettes, gamers, gamettes, lads and lassies? Welcome back to another sparking episode of Games and Gamers. This is both a really good episode and a really sad episode. Good episode. My buddy Kyle from Dragonball Super Dope is here. Hi, Kyle.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here with the weirdness.
Yeah, oh God, you haven't even seen it yet. That's typically 92% always. I got Danger down here. Hey, Danger.
Hello. How's it going?
How are you guys today?
I'm doing great. I'm tired, but I'm doing great.
You know, I think today's Wednesday, right? So it's just another day in the week.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
I was about to say today is my day off after working for 6 days straight. So I have just been chillaxing all day.
Playing Final Fantasy 16, right?
Nope. I gotta play that. I gotta sit down and stream that. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow. I plan on streaming that, and I plan on streaming Overwatch tomorrow. That's my plan. Right. Today I've just been relaxing and laying in bed today.
I hear
and
that.
Drawn.
Been a very long.
I don't think it will at all pop up. There it goes. I'm just practicing drawing Goku. Because Sparking Zero, I'm practicing trying to draw Super Saiyan Blue. I just started.
All right. Well, we have our own typical thing. We always say hello to each other, so we welcome Kyle on. Very cool to have him on. Go check out his show, Dragonball Super Dope, on pretty much everywhere. Right, Kyle?
Yeah, wherever you get podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places where the podcasts live. We also have the Advice Pod. All right, check that one out.
Yeah, I forget about Advice Pod sometimes. They have a cool advice one that I listen to from time to time where people ask random questions or they go to Reddit pages and they just give their advice. It's really fun sometimes.
Yeah, it's mostly just an excuse to like bullshit on the crazy stuff that people post on Reddit. Sometimes it does take the shape of genuine advice. Most times it's just us trying to make each other laugh. So it's a good time.
I mean, that's all these shows typically need is try to make each other laugh, even if nobody else listens.
I mean, hopefully you make each other laugh and people listen and they laugh too, but it doesn't always work out that way, I guess.
Not always, Kyle. We've had some Games and Gamers. We've had some moments that have been not so good. We got a lot of hate for like a solid 3 months, which was hilarious.
Why? What did you do?
So I think one of the times I was on your shows, I told you we asked what fan base is worse than Dragon Ball, and I said the Silent Hill
Star
fan
Wars.
Base.
Oh, yeah. What a weird pick that was, man, considering how prevalent Star Wars fans are.
I don't like Star Wars either, but I don't get
Star Wars.
You can like Star Wars. It's the fans that we don't like. Okay.
Yeah.
Hayden does not like Star Wars. I've never liked Star Wars. As nerdy as I am, I've never liked Star Wars, and I've never understood why. I've watched the movies. I've seen some of the shows. It's just
It's really good. I love Star Wars.
But Silent Hill, we reviewed the first Silent Hill game from the 90s. I love the game. And I showed it to a Silent Hill Facebook group. And we got attacked. Me specifically got attacked because because Danger talked shit on it. And I said it was an okay game, not the best thing or the worst thing. And so I got attacked for a solid 3 months over this game. To the point they kicked me out of the group because there was so much chaos going on that I caused.
They pretty much excused me because I've never played it before and I'm just now playing it. So they pretty much excused me. Hayden, though, he's played the game multiple times, claims he's a fan, but then said that. So it's like they just cannot stand that he says he's a fan and then talk crap about the game.
I have fair.
How dare you critique something you enjoy? How dare you faker? At least I say I just don't like it.
So, at least
they'll just ignore me.
He doesn't have to coach. He doesn't have to couch his comments about the game and like, I love this, but it sucks.
I
think that's actually what I said. Is I like it, but it sucks.
But it's the fact that you kept going after you said that you do like it, and that's where your problem was. I think it's hilarious. I'm never playing Silent Hill 1. I'm never playing Silent Hill 1 again.
No, that's not true. You said you would. But yeah, that was like how it was for like a hot minute. It was just that. So yeah, it's great. I love our show.
Good times. Good times.
And speaking of good times, we got our good old segment of What the Media. So since Kyle is our brand new guest, Kyle, I think I explained it to you. Is this what media are you dealing with? Movies, games, books, whatever it is. What are you taking in media wise?
So I do watch several movies a week. I'm trying to think of the ones that we watched the other day. Not really one. It's not like ones that would anybody would be like, "Oh my god, you watched that?" It's like old timey kind of favorite stuff. Like, we watched Temple of Doom the other day. Indiana Jones. Watched the Goonies a couple days before that. I think I was just in a mood for Data short round action. You know what I'm saying? However, in terms of media, I've been consuming the most recently, the most regularly. I struggle with that word. I gotta say it real slow. I've been playing the shit out of the Budokai 3. Let me rephrase. Remaster for Xbox 360 the last 2 weeks. I talked about it on my show the other day. Dragon Ball Super Dope. March 1st, for whatever reason, I had a terrible, terrible day, and I just needed to play that game. And I played it for hours and hours, just like flying around Dragon Universe and doing stupid battles and collecting capsules or whatever. And I was like, I don't know why I need to fly around this game so badly. I started doing that every single day for at least a couple hours every day. And then Friday the 8th happens, Toriyama dies, and I was like, oh, well, he didn't die, I should say. They announced that he died 7 days prior. And I don't know. I've just been flying around in Budokai 3 a lot the last couple weeks, and it feels a little cathartic now, given that, that first week it was very nostalgic. Now it just feels very cathartic.
But, I hear that.
What a fun game, man. That game holds up.
If you like that, did you ever play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? You and I talked about it. I don't know if you've ever played it.
Yeah, I played through the first couple story arcs in it. I bought it day one. It wasn't very, it looked beautiful. And it was a cool retelling of the story that I've seen a billion times before. Combat system was kind of fucking weak. Some of the skill, whatever they had, the medals that you get for like certain skill unlocks, I forget. Yeah. That was kind of a confusing system to me. But whatever reason, it didn't really hook me. So I played it a bit, but it wasn't for me. I know some people who they claim it's like their favorite Dragon Ball game of all time. So I guess it missed for me.
That one was really fun to just fly around and just look at everything. That's what I was thinking of. If you got to that point, you could just go free roam and explore stuff.
It's a very cinematic game. It's not a very competitive game. It's very cinematic and fun to look at and watch. But it's basically, how I phrase it, a super glorified Xenoverse. To where it does feel similar as if you're just kind of playing Xenoverse, but graphics amped up to a billion times better. So I was okay with the game. It's definitely a more cinematic game.
Absolutely. How about you, Danger? What media have you been consuming or not been consuming?
Drawing.
Been wanting to consume.
I've not really been on the internet too much. I've mostly just been busy with work. My brother now works with me, which is super cool. I'm not going to go into details of where and whatnot, but I finally got him to work with me. I've been doing really well at my job, which is super cool, but I've just had no time to do anything right now because as soon as I adjusted and I finally started doing streaming as well again and getting back into doing both life and content, now my brother's in the picture of life, and so content was kind of pushed aside for a bit, but I've mostly just been trying to get better at drawing. I'm doing better anatomy now. And so I'm literally just trying to practice drawing characters. I'm trying to get back into drawing Dragon Ball characters and stuff, which is harder than I thought it was because I haven't done it in a while. It's fun, but it takes me way too long to draw characters. Like I don't get out. Like a lot of these people, like someone uploaded an amazing Sparking Zero picture 2 hours after like the showcase came out, which by the way, I mean, I said off camera, I don't think I said it on. We planned this, like to do this like over a week ago, but the day for this day, and then the day we do it, they announce a showcase and reveal a showcase, which is super cool. Super cool. But yeah,
good
so because super good timing. And so after I saw it, I was like, you know what? I want to try to draw Dragon Ball characters better. I really want to be good at Goku because once you're good at Goku, you could draw almost all of the Dragon Ball characters pretty much. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to draw Super Saiyan Blue Goku right now. That's basically just all I've been doing.
Fair.
It was just trying to get back into drawing. Not too much media going on with me.
Have you started drawing back for my thumbnails on my new gaming channel on a weekly basis? Great. I like the idea.
I'm sorry.
Good idea.
Okay.
Danger.
Well,
so,
I mean,
my media.
I could pay. You could pay me to do it.
You're on Games and Gamers. My media is a bit over, like always, all over the place, but it's at least slowly trying to kind of like tightened down because I've got the all around gaming. I've got my Switch up. I'm playing Transistor. Been loving the hell out of it. I'm playing Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Alice Madness Returns. It's been like my games recently. Having a lot of fun with them. I started watching the new Walking Dead show, Those Who Remain or whatever it is, Those Who Live. And
is it worth it checking out or no?
No.
Rick,
Wait,
do you say that from the perspective of somebody who's watched all of Walking Dead, or did you fall off at a certain point?
I fell off, I want to say, but the season like 11.
Oh shit, you watched way further than I did.
I watched a long time. I watched like there's a like I want to say like Negan had been introduced and a lot of his shit was going on. He hadn't been taken care of yet, and that's like then he attacked Alexandria, or like a big Alexandria thing. I'll spoil it for the show that's been out for 10 years.
It's not Alexandria. It was this isn't his way to season 11, is it?
Well,
I'm thinking
Carl died. Like a season after Carl died was whenever I stopped watching. It's like season 10, season 11. It's
all right.
It's way later.
I fell off before he died. And then I heard he died and I was like, thank God I fell off. I'd be very upset right now.
So it's not awful. It's really cool. Like it's been a long time since I've seen it. I didn't watch Fear. I didn't watch World Beyond. I haven't watched Dead City or the Daryl Dixon show. But it's really cool because this is supposed to be like the movies. They originally had plans for 3 Walking Dead movies, which is this show, which unfortunately got scrapped because of COVID. Now is this. Yeah. But it's very bad writing.
Like Rick, bad dialogue.
So Rick right now has got in like season 15 of The Walking Dead or something, was on a bridge, blew up a bridge, and we haven't seen him since. It's been like 10 years since we've seen him, like outside of the show. He's in like a military thing similar to like a quarantine zone in Last of Us, where the CRM, these big dudes, have taken over and they're trying to rebuild society. Every time he's tried to escape, they catch him. He cut his hand off and he got caught. And he's just kind of been beaten down. And then whenever he has the perfect opportunities to escape, he does not escape. Like perfect opportunity. Like I could leave here. I play it, planted dead. It looks like me. It looks like I died. Nah, I can't do it. Helicopter crashes that I was in. All those people died. I got to go back. They know I'm alive. It's just not good writing. And Rick is my least favorite character in that show. He's the main character. He's my least favorite character. He is such a wuss to the point I hate him.
So, I mean, the obvious thing with Rick, like, I can think of moments like that, obviously not to those extremes, but like some of the early moments when he's dealing with like the governor in season 4 and he's like having to be like, he has to basically admit that like he's not in a position of strength and he kind of has to go along with what's being asked of him. And then again, he does it to an even further extent with Negan when Negan finally invades Alexandria.
Negan, that's probably the best comparison is the Negan stuff.
Yeah, he like absolutely is beaten and broken down. I feel like this is maybe, I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched the fucking show. What the hell do I know? But it could be something like, oh, remember Rick? Oh, yeah, we're making Rick out to be a wuss. Oh, yeah, you think he's a wuss? Oh, he's doing this other wussy thing. And then at the end of the season, he's going to do like the most badass Rick Grimes shit.
He might, but the issue is this series is 6 episodes. And we just watched episode 4 a few days ago.
Ooh, pacing problems.
It's so bad. The first episode was fine. Second episode was Third episode is why. Fourth episode, more why. I don't know about 5. I'm fearful of 6.
Yeah, they probably came up with more great ideas to make Rick look like a wuss than they did to make Rick look like a badass, because he's been a badass so many times already.
Yeah, he's like his biggest issue right now is Carl is his biggest issue.
Carl, his dead son, Carl?
Carl, yeah, like he was in the CRM, and what kept him going was Carl, his dead son. Then it was Michonne, his living wife. And now then it's like he just kind of lost the interest in it. So it's like, I don't want to escape.
What the fuck happened to Judith, man? She's still alive?
Yes, he did not see Judith because she was like a year or so old, maybe at most 3, when he was last on the show with him. Now she's 12 years old. She's a badass. She has his hat, Michonne's sword, Rick's gun, and she'll just do whatever the fuck she wants.
So they gave Judith the Carl treatment because they killed Carl off.
Pretty much a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because her and Negan really buddy up like Carl did in the graphic novels.
Go figure, man. Weird. Maybe I want to check back into that. I don't know.
I've been debating restarting it because it's all on Netflix, but God, that's like
Actually,
500 fucking episodes.
Speaking of Norman Reedus, we just had St. Patrick's Day a couple days ago, and we celebrated at least part of the day by watching The Boondock Saints. That's a movie I watched a lot when I was in high school. So, 20 fucking years ago, probably close to that.
You're ancient.
Yeah, I know. But tell you what, man, so much vivid imagery in that movie has been burned into my skull since that point in time, and I haven't watched it in well over a decade. Like, not super fresh in my brain, but I know a lot of it. And let me tell you, man, weird goddamn movie. Really strange film.
God, my parents and I were sitting down and actually watching some really weird movies, talking about watching really weird movies, and Human Centipede.
Yeah, you watch that with your parents? That's cool. That explains some things about you.
Here's the thing, though. It was only my dad, me and my dad. I was maybe 12, 13 years old. We had a rent movie video place, and we thought it was one of those like D-level movies where it's like, oh, it's a human who has things, and we rented it.
It's about the game Centipede. Remember that from the Atari games?
Oh, yeah,
you love
absolutely.
games, son, don't you? Next thing you know, you're watching movies about eating ass with your dad. What the hell?
We watched it, and by the time the end, it was like, what did we watch? Hayden, I don't know.
He didn't stop it. He just let the whole thing play. He's like, no. Maybe there'll be a turn. Maybe
I was the one saying it. I was one who was like, what? And I was like, oh, it gets to the point you get halfway through. It's like, what the fuck's gonna happen next? It's like Tusk. It's one of those stupid ass movies.
Bro, I watched Tusk a few months ago for the first time, and the look of Justin Long in that walrus suit is still burned into the inside of my eyelids. The friend who made me watch it, shout out to Sam. Hi, Sam. I can't. I say it to her all the time. Like, I can't properly express how mad I am that she made us watch that movie, because I can't even watch a movie with Justin Long with it now. Like, I see Tusk all the time. It's awful. I like Justin Long, man. She ruined him for me.
There's another one, Kyle. Last one, then we're gonna get into a thing. The Green Inferno.
The fuck's that about? Farting green fire?
It's green, definitely. College kids want to protect an indigenous tribe in South America from getting deforested, and they go in like a private plane to fly over to try and help them. The plane gets shot down. I don't know if it's by them or by the people, and they get captured by the tribe, and shit happens to them. It's a horrible movie. It's such a bad movie.
And shit happens to them.
I mean, it's one of those movies. You need to watch. You need to watch to be
no,
like,
you don't. No, you don't need to watch it. You can do yourself a favor and not watch it if you want to do yourself a huge favor. If you love yourself, don't watch it.
If you love yourself.
You said that. Kyle said before he doesn't love himself.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the movie.
You know what you're going to be watching.
It's gruesome. I'll warn you. It's gruesome and stupid.
Am I going to have nightmares?
No, but you're gonna be mad at the characters in the movie.
How bad did Tusk scar you?
I thought about it every day for the last 4 months.
Then you are going to think about this every day for the next 4 years.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'm skipping this one. Sounds wild though.
Do yourself a favor and skip it. Do yourself a favor.
I'll give you one idea of it. A girl gets turned into a bowl, and a lady drinks a bowl, and the only way you know is her tattoos at the bottom of this bowl.
Okay.
Most of the games are gamers.
I think I'm all set with that that show or that movie rather.
Yeah, I'll give you a fair warning. But God, this is games and gamers. This is stupid. This is how we work. But typically on this, we always go into the game. But we've made mention that Akira Toriyama passed almost 3 weeks ago now, which is
what?
Kyle, we've already gone through this.
What happened to him? Is he okay? Is he going to make it?
Yes, Kyle. He's going to make it into the good green pastures.
Listen, I'm sorry I'm grieving in such a dark way. I've been very torn up about it for the last almost 3 calendar weeks. And I don't mean to make light of the situation, but this is how I cope. Deal?
He's in those greener pastures. Snake way.
Don't remind me, man.
He's enjoying his time, but unfortunately, Toriyama passed, and at least for Kyle is a big Dragon Ball fan, very big. He's probably the biggest Dragon Ball fan I actually know.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's a compliment.
Good.
I'm not 100%.
That sounds about right. Thank you. I think.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Dragon Ball fans, and you are the most knowledgeable of Dragon Ball that I know. You are, yes, Danger. I'm including you in this. Kyle will put you to shame.
Oh, you don't have to make it a competition,
I would
but I might.
I would love just me and Kyle talk about Dragon Ball for an hour and see where it goes.
Danger, imagine talking with me, except Kyle's a lot meaner than I am sometimes.
Oh, I'm so much meaner. Yeah, I'm a dick, dude.
Nah, dude, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
That's what everyone thinks, and then they get done with the show, and they're like, "Are you mad at me?"
That happened to me once. I was talking to Kyle. I was like, "Shush, shush, shush."
I was like, bro, like, dude, do you not want me back anymore? Like, I'm sorry, dude, you okay?
What did I do? I didn't even. I just met you, man.
But so we're gonna kind of go. I feel like it'll be a little brief thing before we go into our actual big meat and potatoes. Is I guess just talk Dragon Ball, like a favorite thing from Dragon Ball. If we got Kyle has better stories than we do because he's been around a little longer. How we got into Dragon Ball, and I guess if you're one of those ones, how it impacted you. So, Kyle.
So you're asking for the Dragon Ball origin story, yeah?
Pretty much. Give us the Kyle Ball Z stuff.
Yeah, the Kyle Ball Z. Here we go. I'll start in the not so distant future, not so distant past. I guess it's kind of ancient now. 6.5 years ago now, we started Dragon Ball Super Dope. Okay. I started that podcast because I was talking about the new Dragon Ball Super series with some of my friends on a regular basis. Every new episode that came on Sundays, we'd be texting, talking shit, drinking beers, whatever. So around the same time, I got also very interested in the medium of podcasting. And I was like, oh, I could probably say some things about Dragon Ball into a microphone. Now, the question is, why? Why did I feel that way about myself? Tell you why. My Dragon Ball intro or introduction to Dragon Ball, at least consciously, I was probably about 6 years old. And I woke up really, really early one morning and put on the TV. It was some local like UPN affiliate. And it was episode, I think, 12 or 13 of Dragon Ball, wherein Goku turns into the Great Ozoru, busts out of Pilaf's castle. They summon the dragon. Oolong wishes for a pair of panties, all that shit. And I was just like blown away and so enamored by it. And I was like, what is this thing that I'm watching? How do I wake up this early every single day to make sure that I see the next episode of this show? This is nuts. I've never seen a cartoon like this. And that kind of like started my obsession with Dragon Ball. But if you are a fan of Dragon Ball Super Dope, or you've listened to my stuff, I've alluded to it in the past. We did an episode a few years ago, even with my dad and my uncle Julius. And their claim of my intro to Dragon Ball is that I've been watching it since I was literally in diapers, when my uncle Julius would come back from New York City, with a big duffel bag full of bootleg Dragon Ball Z episodes with like fan subs on them. And they'd be watching the Cell games and shit in like 1992, 1993, like just after they aired in Japan. And I was just sitting in the background, soaking it in, not really conscious of it. But that's all a long way to say Dragon Ball has been in my life for a very long time. I'm 34. So if we're just going by the conscious years, we're going on like 30 years now. Always been one of my favorite IPs. I like obsess. I kind of suspect I might be a little autistic, and Dragon Ball may have been the first signs of that autism, like the complete obsession with it and like needing to see everything and collect all the stuff and learn all the things. Like as a kid, it was a very, very serious hyperfixation for me, and still remains so, although, you know, lesser degrees. But 6.5 years later, I've been making a Dragon Ball podcast now, over 300 episodes, and none of that would be possible without the imagination of one dude who we just lost because, you know, he wasn't great at taking care of himself. He was a little lax, both in his writing style and in his healthcare routines. So, yeah, man, Dragon Ball means a lot to me. It's been a weird few weeks. Every once in a while, it feels so stupid, dude. I'm sorry I'm going on so long. It feels so stupid to say this out loud, but I've been thinking it, right? I remember like certain members of my family passing away, and like you process that grief, and it becomes like part of the reality, and you just kind of start getting back to your normal day-to-day life. And then every once in a while, you'll just be doing something completely unrelated, and you'll just remember. When my grandmother died, this happened to me a lot for like 2.5 years. So it's happened to me a few times about Toriyama in the last couple weeks. As stupid as it sounds for a guy I've never known and never would have met. Every once in a while, I just remember, and I'm like, ooh, I feel the pit of my stomach drop out. And I'm like, man, Dragon Ball, what's it going to be like now? It's weird.
Yeah,
it's been weird, man. Grief is a weird thing. I hate it.
It really is. And now they're on that unfortunate indefinite hiatus in the manga.
Don't get me started, bro.
Can over on his show. Go check it out, everybody. His episode will be out.
The reason I'll say it is because about an hour before we got together, Dragon Ball exclusive, probably earlier today, but several hours ago, Dragon Ball exclusives, my sworn Dragon Ball enemy. I think he's an absolute fucking trash bin. And an acquaintance of mine, Black Bulma, they started reporting that the break for the manga is only going to be a month. And I was like, wait a minute. Why are you only going to take 1 month off and then call it an indefinite hiatus? That seems very suspect. Where are you getting this from? And they got it from a screenshot of the Viz manga app. And it says when you get to the end of chapter 103, which released earlier today, it says next chapter will be in May. Because they know it's not going to be in April because they've already announced the break. So what I'm thinking is that their app just like refreshed and defaulted to the next month that they know or they think that it'll be out. And it's just going to be a perpetuating cycle like that. Like, why would you say only 1 month if it's going to be quote unquote indefinite? You wouldn't. And this person saw this little thing in the app today and made a whole fucking thing about it. And there's a bunch of misinformation out there about it. Wait for an official announcement from Shueisha. Wait for an official announcement from the conglomerates, not some fuckface on social media. Okay.
Back whenever I was reading My Hero, there was an issue with that, and they had that exact thing. Like, well, I can't remember what chapter it was, but they dropped like 2 chapters at the same time because one of them like got like messed up, so they had to do 2 of them at once. And that's entirely what it is they just do that. But yeah, Dragon Ball, Kyle, very sad. It's very shame. Danger, your turn.
My introduction to Dragon Ball was not even because of Dragon Ball. My introduction was because I was super big into Sonic the Hedgehog when I was a kid. Really big into Sonic the Hedgehog. And over time, I just was very much into like seeing all these fan animations of characters, seeing all of these video games. Sonic and the Black Knight was one of the coolest games I ever played when I was a kid, and I really did enjoy it a lot. Still to this day, big fan of Sonic, but definitely have shifted over to Dragon Ball. But one thing is I saw one of these videos of a connection about how like Sonic and all the stuff from him is based off of Dragon Ball, like all these connections. Super Sonic, the Chaos Emeralds, a lot of different characters. Someone made a connection when I remember way back then, the connection of like all the robots that like Eggman makes is like the connection to a lot of the characters in Dragon Ball making robot enemies. And so someone made that connection at some point. And so I really was interested in it, and I looked into it. I looked into a lot of the Dragon Ball stuff, and I thought it was super cool. I just saw a few things here and there. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I remember the oldest memory I have of actually consistently watching it, not just hearing about it, was, strangely enough, it was playing at a McDonald's, strangely enough. And I just saw it on TV. I was curiously watching it, and it was during the Namek saga. I like the Planet Namek saga. I don't remember. I cannot remember which episode it was at all, but I just remember watching the Namek saga. It definitely wasn't like Super Saiyan or any of that, but it was super cool, and I really much enjoyed it a lot. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Slowly over time, still a huge Sonic fan, but I was starting to take more of Dragon Ball media over time. Eventually, it got to the point to where I would play the game, like, I don't know if you remember the game Super Smash Flash 2. You cannot play it normally anymore. But I remember they added Goku on there, and I enjoyed it a lot. Dragon Ball Devolution, I played that a lot. I was a kid who had a laptop and played a lot of free games. We didn't have a lot of games growing up, but you know, if it was free on the computer, I played it. I played a lot of those Flash games growing up. So it sucks Flash is not a thing anymore. But there were a lot of these very fun Dragon Ball Flash games. There was a like Goku creator thing, and there was a lot of these fun games, and I enjoyed it. I just thought it was a cool thing of the concept of the character Goku. I didn't know Dragon Ball. I knew Goku, and that's where my knowledge was for the longest time. I cannot remember the exact point of when I started enjoying Dragon Ball, but it was definitely the one day that I remember that pretty much sealed the deal was I watched a bit of Dragon Ball. I got super interested in it. And then I just said, hey, could we see the movies? Like, like I don't want I'm not gonna be able to watch the whole show, but could we see the movies? And there was just one day that I did like a marathon for, at the time, I watched all the Dragon Ball films that were out at the time. And at the time was when like Battle of Gods. I don't know why why that eluded from me. I don't know why that would eluded from me. But I watched all up to Battle of Gods, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. The thing that sealed me into Dragon Ball was hearing for the very first time like the I will not let you destroy my world, then hearing Hero Flow. That is the first time with media that I have gotten goosebumps. I've got it a handful of times since then, but the feeling of when people describe, oh, I got goosebumps from it, I've never known what that feeling was. That did that for me. Like him going, I will not let you destroy my world, the music kicking in, all of that, dude, like goosebumps. That was the first time I ever felt it, so the effect was 100, and I've never felt anything like that besides like Avengers Endgame and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Like, that's it. That was like the only time I've ever had that feeling. It was the coolest thing ever. And I was just like, this is it. I love Dragon Ball. I'm into it. I got my very first Dragon Ball game when I was 14. I got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the Switch. I started practicing drawing characters. I have a lot of drawings that I did by hand, a lot of these Dragon Ball characters. My first product I ever owned for Dragon Ball, it's up there. It's the Burger King Gohan toy. That is the very
nice.
That is the very, and I still have it. It's up. You can see a little yellow dot. That's him. And the first,
I have that shit in my closet over here. That's cool.
The first collectible I ever got was the SH Figure Art Super Saiyan Blue Goku. And I got a little bit after watching the Resurrection F film. And then
What's
after a while,
so interesting, I'm sorry to cut you off. What's super interesting to me about that Flow song getting you and the You Will Not Destroy My World or whatever, you basically just described the setup for like the early 2000s and kids online finding the original AMVs of Dragon Ball, like Super Android 13 movies set to a Linkin Park song, and describing the same feelings that those kids had watching Crawling in My Skin.
yeah, all those AMVs and stuff.
Like, dude, it hooked kids so hard back then, and you had a super similar, albeit much more modern day version of that experience. It's fucking fascinating to me.
Yeah, dude, I loved that. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then I like started learning about, like, there's the whole debate of like Gogeta and Vegito and stuff. I personally, for the longest time, much preferred Vegito for the longest time early on.
We prefer Vegito, but who's the better of the two?
I mean, they're both really good. They're both really good.
No.
Gogeta always wins. Vegito's fun, but he always loses somehow.
Nah. I gotta have a definitive answer, bro. Dude, I will say one thing.
Who has the breakable earrings that have canonically been broken?
One of the coolest things that I ever loved about Dragon Ball as well, which I didn't even know until later on, is the concept of like just having two characters fuse, and they always even like would joke about like doing fusion dance or Potaras and stuff. And I didn't learn until later on, after I started learning about Goku and stuff, that it was Dragon Ball reference. A lot of the stuff I enjoyed, again, Sonic was like my first massive thing, was Dragon Ball based. They had a bunch of Dragon Ball references. A lot of the things that I enjoyed, like Sonic X, also I really enjoyed. So going from Sonic X to Dragon Ball Z, but I really enjoyed all that stuff. So over time growing up, all these things that I loved referenced to Dragon Ball, I moved over to Dragon Ball, and it's been my thing for the longest time. My very first profile picture on my YouTube channel was basically a redraw of Gohan with the glasses. And growing up, I grew up watching, like, just sort of watching the show over time. But it was super cool because when I was younger, I enjoyed watching, like I enjoyed Goku the most, pretty much. I enjoyed all these characters, but I also grew to also enjoy Gohan. You know, when you're a kid, you typically reference yourself with the kid character. Be like, oh, there's a cool kid that, like, around my age, grew up a bit, and, like, over time saw Cell Saga, saw Boo Saga. I thought Saiyaman was the coolest thing ever. Like, Saiyaman is, man. I love Saiyaman. I love Saiyaman. And here's the thing. As Gohan grew up, eventually he needed to get glasses. I now have to wear glasses. And a lot of these cool things, like, I think, like, stuff like Sandman, Beast Gohan, all that's the coolest stuff ever. And I love all that. And so I realized over time growing up, when people ask me who's my favorite Dragon Ball character, my options gone to a few different characters here and there, kind of just like changing over time. I never definitively knew, but I know Gohan's definitely my favorite character growing up. Gohan is my favorite Dragon Ball character. And like the media I consume, the drawings I do, it first started with Sonic, but now I've been drawing Dragon Ball characters. I've drawn a lot of Hayden stuff, and I've drawn plenty of characters. I've made a bunch of videos about characters. I've practiced doing voice acting because of like seeing like Dragon Ball voice actors and stuff and hearing how they sound. I've practiced doing voice acting. And at some point I want to release a video of me actually sitting down and doing a bunch of voices, but that's a project I'm doing later this year, not anytime soon. But I now have a huge collection over here. I've collected stuff for a long time. There's a picture out there of when I was like 12 or something. I was young. I have a picture that I wore of something I wore for 3 years, a full Vegeta cosplay. I'm talking the wig. I'm talking the scouter. I'm talking the bodysuit. I'm talking the gloves. I'm talking the boots. I'm talking the armor that's like stuff. I have the armor.
Damn.
I still have the armor from the outfit that I wore when I was a kid.
Every day if I wasn't so fat. That's sick.
This does not fit me anymore. But I wore it like it fit because it was too big the first year, fit perfect the second year, and then was so barely fit the third year, but it fit enough to wear for one night. Throwing that over there. All right, but yeah, Dragon Ball's been in my life for a long time. I thought it's super cool, and it's influenced a lot of things I've made, including my current and definitive series of Danger X, like the thing that I have for all the characters and stuff. It's set up a lot of that, so it's been there for a long time. It's been that for a long time. I'm pretty much done, but yeah, I love Dragon Ball. I'm obsessed with it.
So mine is, in case you guys don't know, I used to be really mean.
You?
No.
I'm being honest.
You're an angel.
Me now is so nice compared to how I used to be. I'm not even lying.
Is it because you are upset that you're a redhead who looks like Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran didn't exist back then whenever I used to be an angry little kid.
Then. Aren't you an angry little kid now? Ed Sheeran's been around for a decade, probably. What are you talking about?
12 years ago, so more than a decade. But back in elementary school, my buddies one of them started talking about Dragon Ball, and I was like, "Man, you nerds! I don't want to watch Dragon Ball." It started airing on Nicktoons, Dragon Ball Z Kai, and like, come on, Hayden, you'd like it. Nah, I don't think so. Come on, it's a nerd thing. I'll go rather play, because back then I used to be much more sports and stuff. God, young me would be disappointed with present me. But it used to be like I didn't want anything to do with it because it's nerdy. It's weird. Dude's hair changes colors. Why? What is this? Powerpuff Girls? And so then on my friend's birthday, Will, part of the Dokkan Wen podcast, he wanted to watch Dragon Ball. So I was like, fine, let's watch it. And we were in the middle of, I want to say, nearing the end of the Saiyan saga. Goku had just beat up Nappa. Vegeta and Goku were doing all their shit. And I was watching. It's like, which one of these is Goku? And I was like, pointed at Piccolo, is that Goku? No, Hayden. Is that Goku? No. Is that Goku? And they got annoyed to the point they like made me stay quiet and Goku?
Shut up, nerd. Stop asking so many questions.
God, it hasn't changed. I ask questions all the time. It's like, hey, do you know? Oh, no, Hayden, I don't.
People must love going to the movies with you.
Hit or miss. I don't go to the movies.
That was a long pause, man. All right.
But so I started watching it, and after Vegeta turned the Ozaru, I thought that was cool. And so I started really watching Dragon Ball. I really was watching Dragon Ball Z, all the cool shit as it went on. Like Goku went Super Saiyan. That was cool. Cell coming out of nowhere. Cool. Frieza's transformation went from cool to weird to super buff weird. And then Super Saiyan Goku appeared.
It's scary. Frieza scared me as a child. I don't know about you, man.
His second form, the Xenomorph one, yes. But then he turned into that smaller one. I was like, man, that thing's not intimidating. And next thing you know, he just started killing people left and right. I was like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that's not what we want to have happen. Okay. Lesson
pretty
learned.
much. But so I started watching it, and I fell in love with it during that time frame. It was just so cool watching Goku go from this dude who had no tone to him but could fight to becoming God level being. At least back then, it was God level being. Watch it was cool. Gohan then took center stage, which was cool. Watch some of the movies, and even some of the specials, like the episode of Bardock, the Future Trunks episode. All that stuff was so cool. And then I stumbled upon the AMVs. I blame the Revenge of Cooler movie, where Goku transforms into Super Saiyan with I think it was the Disturbed playing in the background. I was like, damn,
God, those are the
that's
ones that
so.
hook you, yeah.
I was like, that's so fucking cool. Goku just screams, a bird comes back to life. I'm like, damn.
Goku's Jesus. I love Jesus Goku. He's so cool.
Son Jesus.
Also,
Son Jesus.
I'm realizing I kind of lied about my first game because Dokkan Battle was the first Dragon Ball thing I got because it was a free game I could get on my phone. So I played that way before I actually played Xenoverse. I realized I played on on the first phone we had.
It's all Dokkan Battle.
And I lost my first account because I didn't know how to save it because I was little and stupid.
But so then that went on. Then I started watching GT, and I liked GT. I thought it was super cool. Super Saiyan 4 was immaculate. Watching Gogeta 4, also immaculate. And then in 2014, for the first time in my lifetime, a Dragon Ball Z movie was released. Battle of Gods.
Strange, huh?
And I was like, man, there's a movie? It's so cool. Let's see who Goku fights and beats up. Then I watch it. I didn't get to watch it in theaters, which was a shame. Like actual thing.
I didn't get to watch it in theaters when they released it earlier this year.
We rented out a theater to be able to watch it for my birthday when I was 15. But it was cool. I didn't have the same effect of the chills that already happened with Goku transforming against Cooler. But it was such a cool feeling to watch that. And this, Goku going Super Saiyan. Goku getting his ass beat to the point he cannot win was so cool. Like, I'm one of those, I like the heroes getting their asses beat because it means a new level they have. And it was so cool to watch that. Beerus, yes. Whis, cool. All the people that we knew were strong. Gohan, Boo, Piccolo. And he's fucking, Beerus demolishing him with chopsticks. Is just, what the fuck is this? It was so different. It was so cool. And
I remember when that trailer came out, and that was a big piece of the trailer was Beerus at the party taking people out with chopsticks, and we were all just like, holy shit, they're going to fight a purple cat with chopsticks? This is wild. What's Dragon Ball going to do next?
What's Dragon Ball coming to?
Right?
But it was
so fun.
It's been so cool, and it's shaped, unfortunately, a lot of my Dragon Ball itself has shaped a lot, not Resurrection F, but it shaped a lot of my growth as a child because I started going through. It became one of those things as a typical. This became my comfort show. Watching these characters do things I couldn't do. Goku fighting these big, bad, strong enemies, being the good dude people want to be like. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be good dude like him. And then for a solid 6 years, I became a good dude, striving to be the strongest thing ever like him. That pushed me to get my amazing physique that I have nowadays.
Oh, are you in shape or something? Did I miss something?
Very much so. Danger?
I have been forced to get into shit. Let me tell you right now. I tell this story, and this is the thing. It still exists. I don't know if you can watch it, but it still exists on my channel. To where whenever he was over last year, went ahead and did a stream, played a game for a bit. He played Dokkan for a bit on my account. And what happened was, I don't remember if he said. I think I said it. I'm very cocky. I think I said, "Hey, let's arm wrestle." I don't remember what happened, but we went to arm wrestle. He went ahead and he was just ready. He was ready to go. I put my hand in, right? I was like, all right, let's do this. When I tell you, I've never felt defeat so fast. Just by the second our hands made contact, I was like, all right, this is it. This is where I die. This is the embodiment of muscle. It feels like I am holding a rock. This is a statue. This is what it is like to feel Goku versus Broly. This is what Vegeta felt like. This is it. All right, well, here I go. Full strength, just and I was like, man, do I even try? I'm gonna try. Let me see if I can literally do anything. full strength, full power, everything. And by the way, I've never lost an arm wrestling match before this. Before this, I've never lost an arm wrestling match. Full strength, full power, something that I've done 100 times and been okay with. Didn't even budge.
Bro.
Just sat there. That smug smile he has now.
What I'm hearing is that wow, you're actually all right. I didn't realize you had that shit going on. Good for you, buddy.
We have a huge mirror in our room that's just on the ground.
That's what I was wanting you to talk about. Not the arm wrestle. It's this shirt.
Like one of the first day he came in, he saw his shoulders were out of his arms. He looked at me and was like, "Oh wow!" And he started like posing in our mirror, and I was like, I can't even blame him. He's built like a Dragon Ball character.
Bro's an Adonis, man. Good for you, Hayden.
Finally, because I'm forced to work a job,
I look so good, yet nobody wants me. What's the problem?
And it's probably that red hair, dog. Sorry about that. You
can actually see it. That's one of the coolest things. You can actually
I'll dye my hair again. I'll dye it brown again.
I wanted to dye my hair blue. Not only that, my mom said I could at one point when I was a kid. Never did it, but I was gonna be. Good. I had the age to dye my hair. But I wanted to. Also, something that's cool. Sometimes it happens. I have to keep putting it back. Sometimes when like my hair will get like a little bang that will pop out forward. I have to keep.
So anyway, Dragon Ball became a good comfort show and just wanted me when I was younger to strive me to be a lot better because I wanted to. Seeing his progress of working harder made me think, you know what, I can work better. I can work harder. And so that's why a lot of it was bettering myself to be. Overall, I'm one of those nerds who became like Goku was my idol. I want to be like him.
Want to know what's ironic about the stance that you've taken, Hayden, is that I took away the exact opposite lesson from Dragon Ball. What I learned is that in a very short amount of time, you can overcome any and all power gaps that you have between you and your own opponents based off of some narrative trickery. You know what I mean? So like maybe there is a room spirit in time. Maybe I can get my act together and lose 30 pounds in like a week if I just train hard enough. That's the shit that Goku taught me. Have I ever been successful with those things? No. But do I still believe that I'll always find a way out on the other side? Yes. Even if that way out does take the shape of me just eventually becoming okay with the way that I look.
Goku has taught me I can go fight anybody I want, and if I scream loud enough, I will win.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know some kids on the playground try that shit. It didn't really work out for them always. They just ended up getting their ass whipped. It worked out for me.
It's worked out twice in the past 2 years. It's worked out twice in the past 2 years. I screamed loud enough and beat the two people.
You sure that they just weren't freaked out that you were like a big, strong, redheaded kid coming at him full strength, screaming?
I mean, Kyle, haven't I told you the story, Kyle, of how I went to Texas to fight a dude because he swindled me out of $253 on a Wii U?
You did not take a. Well, you don't live too far from Texas, right?
It's about an hour and 15 minutes to get where I needed to be.
Okay, so you drove, obviously. Okay, did you beat the shit out of him?
Oh yeah.
Did you go to jail?
No, because mutual combat's a thing in Texas. If you have both parties do it enough, both parties agree.
That sounds like a fucking Texas thing, right? For sure.
And here's the best part is if you aggravate somebody enough, I know the chief of police down in Bowie, Texas, so it's good. If you aggravate somebody enough and they throw a punch, that is their agreement to mutual combat. So if you pester somebody enough, they throw a punch, you can hit them back as long as the cop sees everything happen.
Man, Texas is.
Now, was this before or after I told you about it? Like, did you know about it before I told you?
Danger. I told you I went and fought. I told you I went and fought one of my high school buddies down in Texas.
Right.
About a year prior.
Yeah. In Texas, you can legally mutual combat with someone, and I made a joke that for my brother's 18th birthday, I was gonna get our share. Our aunt knows someone in police, and I made a joke that I was gonna get them so we could do mutual combat.
Yes, we've been doing this. If we should have just had an introduction episode for Kyle, and then done this later. We're about an hour in, and nothing's happened.
No, I think this is great. I mean, you edit what you need to edit, but I feel like we're really hitting.
I feel like it's great. Man. Yeah, we're talking Dragon Ball. Because it's also it's just talk about Dragon Ball in general. So it's also it's all good.
I know, but God, we've evolved into me being a violent sociopath who goes to Texas to fight people.
It's a true Kyle move, man. Your name's Hayden, but man, you're acting like a Kyle.
I'll go down and visit Danger in about 2 weeks, and we're going to do the exact same thing in his backyard and then go get Raising Cane's afterwards.
Hell yeah. Chicken. They just opened one of those places near me the other day.
I got boxing gloves ready.
You gotta fight people for chicken and french fries?
No, Danger. Danger
I
wants
want-
me.
I want
Danger wants
Hayden
to fight
to
me.
throw a
No,
punch. No, I
Danger
didn't say I
wants
wanted
to fight me
how
in
to
a
throw a
boxing
punch.
ring, so I'm going to show him how to throw a punch.
I never said that, but okay. I said I
Oh,
want to know how to
Jesus.
throw a punch, and you said we'll fight in a boxing ring. That's the opposite. I said I want to know how to throw a punch.
Anyway,
I do
but
not know how to fight.
Like
I
the
do
great
not know.
Chubbs Peterson once said, it's all in the hips. It's all in the
Mhm.
hips.
I assume so. I've been practicing.
So since we got in our absolute nonsense, thanks all for listening around for however long this actually ends up being. But Sparking Zero, I keep saying sparking and sparkling. Is it sparking or sparkling?
It's Sparking Zero.
I thought
Tyler keeps saying it's Sparkling Zero and calls it a sparkling water. He says, "Oh man, I love Sparkling Zero. It's such good water."
So, Sparking Zero dropped 2 trailers today, one of which was a really cool, just like cinematic thing as like a ooh trailer. Then they dropped the gameplay like trailer thing for it. And so it's been how long since the Budokai game? It's a long
It's been a long time.
2007, I think, 2008.
So about 15 years.
Yeah, sounds
Long
about right.
time.
And now
Also,
we're
the
finally
first trailer they shown was the previous one. They showed the previous trailer, then the showcase. Is the show? I guess it is a trailer. The
Trunks and all
showcase.
that.
No. That's after. That was after the showcase. But yes, that's the
Yeah,
new
that's the
trailer.
trailers I'm talking about. Is that
Okay.
Is you have that, you see Trunks fighting Dispo, then you have Kakunza fighting Trunks and all that. That's really cool. I like seeing that. And look, no matter what, even if the game comes out and review it, I give it a 2. It's a really cool game. It looks really pretty. I will not deny it.
Yeah.
But it's also, hopefully, Kyle got my hopes down because he said never assume. This will be the first time, theoretically, in Dragon Ball stuff, we get to follow the Dragon Ball Super story, not in DLC form, which I'm excited for because Dragon Ball Z has been retold in game form as many times I have games back here. It's been redone. I love Dragon Ball. It's been done to death. As cool as it has been done to death, I'm excited they're theoretically following Super.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume that it'll mostly follow Super as well. What I said to you before was like, this is what I took away from today, right? I have a couple of thoughts about the gameplay specifically, but in regards to the trailer that you just spoke to, big old muscly Trunks, cool. We get a big old muscly Roshi, also cool. That Kakusuna character from Universe 2 from Ribrianne's gang, what a fucking pick that is to not only feature in the game but feature in the second, I think, or I guess third, the third trailer of the game to feature a character that minor gives me a ton of hope for the expansiveness of what this roster is going to look to be.
Yep.
Now, what does it take the shape of on launch day? I assume Kakusuna or whatever the hell her name is going to be on launch day. But like the other members of Universe 2, why wouldn't they just take their time to build out some stuff? And maybe there's a Ribrianne thing in DLC 1, or maybe not her. Maybe there's a who's the other guy in that universe? Jim is.
I always forget that.
It's the yard rat dude who you see for like half of an episode around like 105, 106. He just falls out of nowhere. He could be like one of those, hey, super deep cut DLC package number 3. But you are right in that it seems for the base, they're gonna well, I mean, maybe not though. Super Saiyan Trunks in that armor, that's from Dragon Ball Z. Maybe not.
I honestly don't know because they've shown stuff of Jiren, they've shown Dispo, but then they've shown Namek, and then they've shown Cell Saga. It's all over the place, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping like the base game, or hell, let's give it like a Dragon Ball, like Kakarot kind of game, is it follows all of it, starting from Z to the end of Super. Let's say Tournament of Power, it ends with Broly stuff too. Let's say it ends at Broly's base game.
Yeah,
that would be fun. I would love that. I'd hate watching it again, but it'd be so cool to eventually make it to the new stuff.
Yeah, and then you rely on stuff like OG Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Daima, Dragon Ball Heroes, all those other things to also be able to pull from DLC. Like when this game was first announced back in, I think, November or December, we did a big sit down about it, and we theorized that there could be easily like 225 plus characters if they wanted in this game. Like it's ridiculous how many people they could, pull into this game.
It really is. And that kind of also dives into how we're going to go about this is we're going to talk about how we want how we want Sparking Zero to go, whether it's story stuff, what do we want to see added, characters, scenarios, stuff like that. And one of the things, I'm not even going to lie, already got covered in that most recent trailer is the team attacks. Because you had Birder and Jace doing their whatever blue hurricane or whatever it is.
I mean, I don't know if that's team attack so much as a character like Birder or Jace would need their special attack to feature another character. And in past games, they might look to do a thing where it's like, well, Birders are playing. I think they did this in Fighters with like 17 and 18, or at least they started it that way. I think 17 went on to become a character in that game, or vice versa, whatever it was.
Android 18 was the playable character, while 17 was the assist, pretty much.
Exactly.
Same with Rose and Zamasu. Rose is the character, but Zamasu was the assist character.
Exactly.
So
Same kind of idea.
Yeah, they were still implemented a lot. They weren't like one or two moves. They were a bunch of moves, but they weren't the character.
I feel like that's probably what we saw with the Birder and Jace thing. I'll tell you, man, I have a lot of, especially as somebody who's been playing not Budokai Tenkaichi games, but Budokai games like the generation before BT. I have a lot of questions about the mechanics of this game. I understand like wanting to pursue such a grand scale or a grand scope. I understand like the visual of Dragon Ball is a massive, big thing. They have these battles across planets, I understand all that. For the purposes of a fighting game, I'm worried they put off a little bit more than they can chew. Watching that gameplay between Goku and Vegeta today, my mind went to two places. First was like, and this is never probably going to be the case for most people, myself included, but as an old fucking person who used to play video games in the room with other people, if I had somebody sitting next to me right now playing as Vegeta and I'm playing as Goku, how are they viewing the screen? Because I don't think they're going to be doing a split screen thing. If I'm Goku, am I in the forefront and Vegeta's way off in the distance? And that's the other thing. The
like
angles of the camera.
Co-op.
Yes, but also it looks even bigger than Xenoverse to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played the shit out of Xenoverse too. Never once did I get lost with where the opponent was. I could always have them at least an eye shot, no matter how awkward a camera angle was. And I felt like that camera angle was way more consistent in those games versus the ones that we saw today, where it's kind of like at this weird off to the left, kind of like diagonal sort of angle, like instead of like
third
just
person type over the shoulder sort of view, like
not
directly on.
It's so strange.
I'm reminded a lot of the Raging Blast game watching this.
I played the shit out of Raging Blast too, and I didn't get similar vibes to that, but yeah, go ahead.
It's just because I didn't play it's been a long time since I played the Budokai Tenkaichi, and Raging Blast is the most recent one I've played. But that's why I'm thinking of Raging Blast and the Raging Blast 2 specifically, is these two, it gives very, very similar vibes to all this stuff, and like Kakarot too.
My worries for this game is that the mechanics are going to be less like a Budokai or a Budokai Tenkaichi, and they're going to be a little bit more like a Xenoverse, which I think it has a style of gameplay that can get very repetitive and very stale very fast, as does Kakarot. I think Kakarot's an even worse example of that. I think, like you guys said earlier, Kakarot was much more a game propped up on its cinematics and its retelling of the story for a new generation versus actual gameplay.
Yeah,
I think when I saw some of that stuff today, I was like, this does not look like a fighting game to me. A fighting game, sure, it's Dragon Ball, but this doesn't look like the fighting game I was expecting. This looks like another Xenoverse or another Kakarot,
Yeah, and I 100% agree. I 100% agree with it. It's and it's a shame right now. I'm going to say it is right now. Couch co-op isn't a thing, so you don't have to worry about the split screen.
Yeah, that is unfortunately what it seems like it will be. It seems like my hope is that they do not do it on release. My hope is that it'll be free future update, like let's say 3 months after the game's been out. That's what I'm hoping. I feel like that'd be the best scenarios. The game comes out, the game's fun, the game's okay, and it could be sooner. Like it'd be cool if they did like after a month, not 3 months. It'd be cool if they did it way sooner than later. But I could totally see them not having it on launch, but then releasing it a little bit later, like as like sort of a test thing.
I could see the game losing a lot of traction if it did not have the couch co-op from day one, because we even have some people on our server that have talked about they kind of aren't super interested in it because the couch co-op is lacking there. And I could see this being the same thing with.
Because a lot of people's story, even my story with playing, I cannot remember which one I played, but whenever I played one of the earlier, like one of the previous ones, I played it couch co-op with friends. I played it in our neighbor's garage, playing it with them, and we literally played it on this little box TV. We sat on the garage floor. There wasn't a couch or anything for us. We just sat on the ground and we played it together. I remembered I enjoyed playing Super Saiyan 2 Gohan while the other enjoyed playing Boo. I don't remember which game it was. I cannot remember. But the fun of it was playing with friends. And now most things are online nowadays, but there's still a lot of people that enjoy playing with their friends and who are still friends to this day from playing back then. And they'd probably love to play couch co-op with their buddies. You know, like people who they used to play with. Like, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to, like, you hang out with your friends and play in person. But
yeah, especially for an old person like me, dude, there are some friends that I'd be like, yo, I just got the new Dragon Ball game. Let's come drink some beers and play this for the next 6 hours.
Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to do, is hang out with them. So I do understand completely why I don't agree that it's a good thing they didn't. I want them to, but I could see it if they're not releasing it on launch, I could see them releasing it a bit into the future. It could be a week, 2 weeks, a month, but I could see that being an update that they adding that. It could just be a thing they don't have ready yet. If they don't plan on doing it at all,
you know why, right?
That is crazy. That's crazy if they don't have it. I do remember something involving like Xbox or something, or Microsoft.
It's the digital Xbox, the Series S. I think it's the Series S is having a hard time with acclimating couch co-op to it, because Xbox Series S is strong console, yes, but it's the weakest console on the market right now because of so they just has a hard time.
Do what Xenoverse did with the Switch. It's literally called Dragon Ball Z. It's Xenoverse 2, like Switch edition or something, like for the Switch. Like it's literally called it is a different game. It also comes with like free DLC. Like it comes with like base Goku Black and like the Power Pole for free. Like like a handful of free items compared to the original one. But just have it for the Xbox.
Yeah, like a slightly simplified version. I don't want to say dumbed down, but maybe you can.
Oh, no, pretty much the exact same game, just missing some of the local co-op stuff. Like some of the local co-op and anything it might not be able to handle. Just smaller size file it, because that's what they did for the Switch. They basically made it a much smaller size. They removed voice chat and they did a few things with it, so it's the lesser version, but it's still the game, still the base game. And so just do that for the Xbox. And then make, if need be, if Xbox cannot handle it, just make it make it not online. Because I already see it not being a cross platform game. I already see that being the case. So if it can't handle being a cross platform game, there's already no intention for cross platform. So it's not even going to bother connecting to PC and the PS5. If the only problem is itself for co-op, just make a new version for the Xbox entirely, which is just like make this file smaller. And if Xbox can't handle a bigger size, then that's the Xbox. That's just it. We're moving to a new generation of games. We can't have one console hold these other things back.
Yeah, fuck off, Xbox. Get your shit together.
So give PC and PS5, because PS5 is pretty much a PC, like a small PC. Like have them run the better one, and then give the other one to Xbox. Yeah. And for the funny, give us one for the Switch. Let's see if our Switch just blow up or not. Just the second you plug in the cartridge.
It goes back and looks like the Budokai games on the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine? That'd be amazing.
Oh man, I hope Switch 2 releases before this game does.
Probably not.
I don't know, man. I gotta be honest. I'm very impressed with the progress they've made in this game. Like this could be a game that's very realistically ready, maybe even before the end of the year, based off of the kind of stuff they showed us they're working on.
Yeah, no, it looks like it could be theoretically in its final stages right now. It says there's still stuff being worked on.
I imagine we're getting it within 2 years, like no more than that. Sooner
I think it could be out for Christmas this year.
I bet it'll be out. I bet it'll be out around Daima. Honestly. They're gonna get. They're gonna have this
October. That would be when Daima.
What if Daima's DLC?
And that right there can go perfect into our next segue. Good job, Dave.
What if Daima become DLC for it, dude? That would be it. That would be the new thing. That would be how like Superhero came out for Xenoverse and stuff. This would come out for things. How many people are gonna stop playing Xenoverse after this game comes out? How many
I
people?
don't know, man. I'm surprised that as many people. I'm surprised they still have put out DLC for Xenoverse 2.
They
as
have
recently
more
as they
DLC they're
have.
putting out. They're not done. They still haven't revealed who the mystery Time Rift character is.
What drives me nuts about Xenoverse 2, not the game itself, but the people in the Dragon Ball community who have opinions on Dragon Ball games, is they all talk so much shit on that game, so much shit. And I'm just like, man, that game has been like a tried and true Dragon Ball outlet for video games since like what, 2013, 2014? That game's been around. I could be wrong on the release date. That game is probably
That
close to
sounds
10 years
accurate.
now.
2014 sounds accurate. Yeah,
I think it's about 10 years old now. I could be wrong. I could be
nine
off
or
by a
10.
couple years.
But yes, it's almost, if not 10 years old now.
It is one of the longest running Dragon Ball games, especially for online support of all time. And it has one of the most expansive rosters short of a game like Budokai Tenkaichi 3, where its main appeal for that game was the expansive roster. People talk so much shit on that game, and when it's gone, and I said this about Dragon Ball Super as well, and I think a lot of people feel this way. When it's gone, you're gonna miss it, man. You're gonna talk all the shit about it now, but when it's gone, you don't have it anymore. You're gonna feel real sad.
I love Xenoverse 2 still. It's awesome, man. I could see I could see Xenoverse lasting another like 5 years, 10 years.
God.
I could see it. I can see it.
Not.
At least the servers running. Like the servers, I could see them lasting another 10 years. Maybe not updates, but servers, I could see it still running.
Probably.
Give us Xenoverse 3. Please let 2
Oh,
die.
Dude,
I don't think
all
they're
the
gonna do a
memes,
Xenoverse
all the
3 for a
memes
long
I've seen,
time.
dude, it's gotten to the
Not till
point where
Super
even
finishes.
people like they're like slow plays like would talk either him or Burkule, who I don't remember his name. It's something like that. But they would talk about Xenoverse 3 nonstop for like, oh, it's coming, it's coming for like 5 years straight. To the point it was annoying, like 5-7 years. They finally gave up joking about Xenoverse 3 because it's been that long. These people who were dedicated for years straight talking about Xenoverse 3 have given up talking about Xenoverse 3.
Yeah, it's amazing how long of a run that game has had. Like truly,
it's amazing. It is really cool, honestly. It's actually super cool.
It's weird, but it is cool. I shan't deny.
Like the fact they keep updating it. I wonder how many more updates, like how many more things could they do with it?
But
I can tell you one thing they can do.
You did have a good segue of the what ifs and the DLCs.
Oh yeah.
For what if what we want to see get added to Sparking Zero in general? It could be DLCs. Could be It could be DLC. It could be characters.
DLC. I feel like is very easy. Superhero and Daima. Like you saying Daima made me think Daima's coming out. They could do that in like several years or a year or something, however long they want to wait. But Daima could easily be DLC.
I could
especially with like. Yeah, like absolutely. Whoever like the new villain is, whatever. I promise you, we are going to see a new form in Daima. We're seeing something new. We're going to see a new.
What was the Sun Goku form that Kyle and I talked about once? It was a weird Goku has like the 5th gear looking poof around him.
The Nimbus form, like Goku Nimbus. He fuses with Nimbus.
I think that'd be an interesting way to tie in the game. Now that you just said that, the first DLC, imagine that it's Daima versions of Goku and Vegeta, and it's like here's the game, but in honor of releasing Dragon Ball Daima this month, you can now get Goku and Vegeta if you pre-order the game or some shit. Like I can see them doing that.
It's like you get it early, or you'll have to wait because they did that with Piranha Plant for Smash Bros. Like if you pre-ordered the game, you could get Piranha because we did it. We got Piranha Plant for free immediately, but then you have to wait a little bit later and have to buy them if you did it. So that I could see that being a thing. If you don't get it immediately, you can still get Goku and Vegeta later. But if you don't pre-order it, so don't worry about that. But you could get it immediately if you pre-order it. So that's honestly a cool thing to think.
They are truly going to take advantage of our pockets.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, especially now that I'm able to make money. Gosh, man. The fact that I'm now making money, which is super cool. But one thing, my first character, I want to immediately shove forward of who I want in the game. But the reason I'm mentioning this is pretty much they're going to add him, but they have to do this. They have to do this. If they don't do it, I'm going to be disappointed immensely. This is going to go from a 10 out of 10 for me, my second in existence 10 out of 10 game, to a 9.9. Is what I want them to add. The second time Dragon Ball's ever given me chills, Blue Goku Kaioken times 10 versus Hit. That was the first time the anime gave me chills. Like, because the anime was super cool, but that was the super cool. Because at this point, I know about Super Saiyan Blue. I know about Kaioken. I've caught up with the Dragon Ball by this point. obviously. Like by this point, I've caught up with the Dragon Ball, and so I know the level that this has pretty much. And so that was the coolest thing ever. I want them to add Kaioken Blue Goku times 10. You can do like, let's say if you want to, like maybe like it's like every times that like hit said, maybe that'd be cool. Like every times he said, it'll count up to that. But if he goes times 10, I want his like body to look red and his hair to look white. They never did that again in the anime. After that, I thought it'd be cool every time. So like the how we know he's times 10 is he gets the white hair, and that's how we know this is his at the time full power. And that would be the coolest thing ever. The fact that I'm like very confident he went times 20 against Jiren, no white hair or anything. And I'm like, why? Like times 20 should have been the white hair Goku. No. I do not. I hope in Sparking Zero he gets the like red body, white hair when he uses that form. That's what I hope.
That would be cool. I won't lie. That really was cool.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me if they feature that one. They made an action figure out of it in the Dragon Stars line a few years ago. I think it's kind of a popular moment. I remember watching that live when it was airing week to week. And at that point, I want to say that shit's around episode like 38. I want to say 38 for some reason. And to that point, so much of the super retelling, it's just a retelling. It's the Battle of Gods movie for the first 14, 15 episodes and the Frieza stuff. And they finally get to that U6 tournament, and it's like, ooh, this is fresh. This is new. And then that fight with them hits.
We get this super cool hit character that's new. Super like, oh, this guy's just like oh, blue. Like now we got the Kaioken versus hit. So cool, man.
And like that's one of those moments where it's always like, man, Goku's got this new form. It's so cool. Why doesn't he ever stack a Kaioken on top of it? That's been a thing that kids have been asking themselves for fucking decades. And then it fucking happened, and the sickest insert song dropped as it happened, and he proceeded to whoop his ass. And I agree with you, Danger. One of like, it got my, got my nipples hard, man. It gave me the chills when I first watched that one live. Definitely, no
spoilers or anything when I saw it. I wasn't spoiled or anything. I was not expecting this to be a thing when I saw it. It was the coolest thing. It was awesome, and I want them to do that. I have my second character, but whoever's next for there.
I'm going for weird deep cut shit, Hayden, so I'm still thinking you can go.
Okay. I mean, I want to add, because we talked about it prior, is I want this game to go back to some of its roots and have just the random shit added to it. And I think it was Budokai 2 that had the random ass fusions and the what if stories.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yep. I want those. I was gonna wait. I'm mostly just talking single characters, but yeah, those are also cool.
Well, it's just in general what you want to see. And one thought I had was, could you imagine a what if? As much as I would hate this, because it showed Kakunza, a fusion between the Ribrianne girls, Rosie with Kakunza with Ribrianne, Rosie with, and I would awesome. I'd hate that. You'd have the Lavender trio, the Bergamo trio, their Danger trio doing their shit, stuff like that. Then also what if
Danger trio fusion?
Then what if
Trio de Danger
turn into Cerberus? There you go. But cool thought. One other one was the what ifs, and it could be what if Goku what if, as opposed to taking over Goku's body, Zamasu took over Vegeta's? What if they didn't do Patara? What if they did Metamorian fusion? And just shit like that. Those kind of, I mean, that'd be a whole different thing, but it's just small what ifs like that of how could they do stuff and add a lot more content to the game, a lot more fun stuff, mostly the what ifs. The fusion stuff is just bullshit they could do, but the what ifs that you could go through and do could be all sorts of, my opinion, could be really fun.
There's so much they can do. There's one that I have. When I get back to my turn, there's one I have.
Well, kind of building off what Hayden said, I guess I'll go with my first pick. Have you guys ever played the game Dragon Ball Fusions? It's for the Nintendo DS game.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't played it, but I've watched the shit out of it.
I've never played it. I had a very heavy interest in playing it at one point in time, and I just remembered that I have a DS that I've never used in like a box in my closet somewhere, and I don't know why I've never played this game, but I wonder if that could be a place, because that's the game where it's like fucking Hercule and Broly, they're hanging out and they fuse. Like you get all sorts of weird mashups like that. That'd be a really fun place to pull characters from. Not anywhere like up front in the launch of the game, but like after this game has been up for 5 or 6 years. Yeah, like DLC
These fun
content pack
stories,
number
yeah.
17. What about these weird fusion mashups? That'd be fun as fuck. I'd be into that.
That'd be super cool.
There'd be all sorts of fun things they could do with just the possibility of fusions, like just a random ass fusions in there, and then the what ifs too. It's like it adds in a whole bunch of stuff. Like another one, what if on Planet Pontifu Vegeta didn't come back? You know, shit like that.
And he just stayed like a jelly man or whatever.
Well, what if he just absorbed Gamma 1 and 2?
Yeah, what if we had Perfect Cell Max? Shit like that. Yep. It's God, Sparking. Whoever, whatever your name is, I have it up right now. Listen to us.
I'll tell you what, man. I was very impressed. Not impressed. I was very caught off guard by that presentation today, wherein the producer of the game, June, I can't remember his last name of Dick, but he goes through the whole thing and he calls it Sparking Zero up front, and then he goes on later in his explanation to say known as Budokai Tenkaichi 3 in the West. Later on in one of the presentations, like between the trailers, he clearly refers to it as Sparking Zero, but in the subtitles that they gave for his translation, it says Budokai Tenkaichi, referencing the old games. So he's referencing the old Sparking games. It references Budokai Tenkaichi. And then that's capped off by the fact that they made the conscious decision to have the Funimation voice cast featured in the trailers and the gameplay today. I think it just speaks to something I've been talking about on my show for forever. And that's like the globalization of Dragon Ball is a very real thing that people don't always consider. Dragon Ball is a way bigger product in like Latin America, Central America than it is in Japan, just by sheer fucking numbers. And I think maybe the Funimation voice cast, it being English, they're never going to do one of those trailer segments with like the Mexican voice cast or the Latino voice cast or whatever. They chose to go with the Funimation cast, and it also kind of spurned this other dark thought for me. It's like the most iconic Goku to me, Masako Nozawa, always and forever. She is an 82-year-old woman, and we just lost Akira Toriyama. She's not too far around the corner. Knock on wood. I pray she lives to be 278 years old and continues to voice Goku the whole time. My point is, once she's gone, Sean Schemmel is going to be that iconic Goku voice, and he's going to be a face of as much as I can't fucking stand that guy sometimes. He's going to be a face of the franchise for decades to come.
Get Masako back. Get DBZA Goku back.
I had him once on my show. He's a wicked sweet guy. He's a
I one time had an interaction with him on TikTok, dude. It was the coolest thing ever. It was a little interaction, but it was the coolest thing ever.
I got to interview him on my show once for an hour.
That is so cool.
And I fucking biffed it, man. And I'll tell you why I biffed it. I told Hayden this story a few weeks ago, I think. I was like, hey, I'm going to send you it wasn't Zoom at the time. It was Skype. I was like, I'm going to send you a link for Skype and we'll do the thing. And he's like, oh, I don't use Skype to record. We can use Discord. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, I'm kind of old. I don't really use Discord all that much, but I could figure it out. Sure enough, I figured out half of it, like how to record it and how to connect with him. Did not figure out proper mic input settings. So like, it's just me on my area mic on my laptop at the time. There's a fucking heavy noise gate on it. And like, I sound like I'm on the other end of the goddamn world, and his audio sounds crystal clear, but like
that, at least you got that. At least you got his audio, Chris, instead of vice versa, you know? Like, then it would have been devastating. At least it was the other way around, you know? You know, that's so cool. That's so cool you got to do that.
I had to do like a big disclaimer at the top, though, to be like, I was so nervous. And I was. I still think about how nervous I was that day to interview him. Of all the people I've talked to on my show, had actual voice actors from the show, Geekdom 101. For whatever reason, Masako X was he was probably one of the first big ones too, as well. Because
I was
so nervous.
You looked up to him. And you wanted to make a good impression. So
let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have a very complicated relationship with Dragon Ball Abridged, but that's a topic for another day.
Another day. Alrighty.
Superdome.
Okay. But one that I've thought about that I thought would be super cool. I can't remember. I think it had to be Raging Blast. It had to be Raging Blast that did this what if. And so I thought, how cool would they do it if they did it again? Let me tell you right now, how cool would it be if we got to see Super Saiyan 3 Super Broly?
Yeah.
That would be amazing, dude. And with the what the Broly we've seen now, the amazing animation, imagine literally just give him Super Saiyan 3 hair. That's it. Super Saiyan 3 hair and have it be to where he has to fight either like both Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, or he fights Gogeta and Vegito. Like, I don't know, something ridiculous like that. Or I don't know what would be the fun what if for who he fights. But Super Saiyan, like, that would be, or it would be like you could be Vegito and Kefla team up to fight against Super Saiyan 3 Broly. The fusions versus the power or something. I don't know. But
yeah, I think it was Raging Blast 2 that did that. What if?
Yeah, I
Broly
think it was a
Super Saiyan
Raging Blast,
3
yeah.
in their galaxy.
I'm not
their
I'm not
galaxy
gonna be
war.
ridiculous and say like Super Saiyan 4 Super Broly. I'm not gonna say that, but Super Saiyan 3, like you're just throwing Super Saiyan 3 hair on top of him. I think that'd be super cool. I think that'd be awesome.
Super Saiyan cool. Ooh,
Super Saiyan cool. That'd be awesome. And then fusions. I mean, Celza, Barlot, Barlot. You could do like the Cooliza. You do all these super cool fusions. Like
yeah,
that.
you could literally get that that 2D sprite animator generator rather. I forget what it's called, but they've made a million memes about it over the last decade and a half. Where like you just pick any random Dragon Ball characters. It's like King Kai and Broly, and his name's like Crowley or some shit.
Yeah, like that'd be super cool with a bunch of those. Gosh, there's a lot of cool. One thing that I really, 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 really want, and I've already mentioned this like 4 times now, that I love Saiyaman. I want us to have a Saiyaman character, not Gohan with the Saiyaman outfit, Saiyaman, but Saiyaman can go Super Saiyan, and then he loses the cape, and either he's wearing the helmet or the glasses and bandana, whichever one it would be. That would be the outfit, is choosing like which one of those, or you can just not have the cape in them at all. But it'd be cool if you do have them, and then when you go Super Saiyan, you lose them. That would be the coolest thing ever. I would love that. Like, I think that'd be the coolest thing ever. Like, and like as he like levels up, I mean, the battle damage would be like you lose the green thing, and then like the outfit gets more damage. But that would be super cool. I would love that. I want to say, because Saiyaman could have all the cool poses and stuff and whatnot, and unique animations for Saiyaman himself, not Gohan with a Saiyaman outfit, because then it'd just be Gohan. Either it'd be Saiyaman doing Gohan's animations, or Gohan like would be doing Saiyaman's animations, and neither one would work.
I mean, in Budokai 3, that game that I'm playing right now, there's literally like 3 different versions of Gohan: Child Gohan, pre-adolescent Gohan, teenage Gohan, and there is also a Great Saiyaman on top of it. Like,
I love that. I love that. I want that so bad. Do y'all think they would put Beast Gohan in the game immediately, or do you think they'll save him for like DLC? I think that Beast Gohan has to be DLC.
What? Hang on to that thought for me, because it kind of plays into something that I'm thinking about a little bit.
I'm gonna hold that then. I'm gonna hold
Hayden, what's your number 2 pick?
We've kind of all thrown in a bunch. Like, it's like my turn. Here's 5.
It's just a pot. This is a potluck of what we want.
Yeah, this is a pot of things we want.
Pot fuck.
That too, but I'm gonna go more of the team attacks. So I have the trailer up in loop over here. I'm watching it, and I like the team attack is cool. But the one going through my head is Naruto Blazing Star. I think it's 4 Revelations, whichever it is.
There's like 50 of them with different that little title. It's weird.
Have the team attack where you could have. No, I'm about to say Goku and Sasuke.
Like the Naruto family and Sasuke family team attacks.
Yeah, like those kind of team attacks. And you could have upwards of how you ever had it set up. Let's say, I don't expect it to be this way in any capacity, but the thought crossing my mind was a Ginyu Force. Let's say you play as Ginyu and you have theoretically the assists, which are all, I wouldn't expect it to have all of them, but let's say you could have 5 assists. Theoretically.
Just like Fighters. Fighters did the same thing with Ginyu, didn't it?
I don't know.
Well,
did they?
Yeah, so Ginyu
is the only Ginyu Force in that game, and all of his assist moves feature different members of the Ginyu Force.
Yeah, he has literally
like all of them at the same time.
Yes, I believe so.
I don't actually don't remember what his super
One,
attack is,
they said
but it would just be
describe
like
one.
little combo moves. Like Goldo would come in and fucking do like a telepathic log at you, or like
You
Birdie
have
would
Yeah,
come
like
in
all
and
that
kick
his
too.
you real quick.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
the ultimate thing is essentially something like that, because we have Goku and Vegeta showing their ultimate cinematic thing would be something like,
Yeah, like their final attack, the strongest attack in the game, whatever it's gonna be
then
called.
go a little bit further into
Let's
the
call
deal.
it sparking attack. Just they're
And then
sparking.
and another one that throws my mind of it also kind of alludes in a DLC would be the Saiyaman. Let's say the Saiyaman squad doing a combo attack, all of them doing whatever, and they end with their justice attack or some stupid shit like that.
You get the Great Saiyaman, you
Saiyaman
get
1 and 2.
X1, X2, you get Dr. Hito jumping in there and his like
I'm
bow.
thinking the heroes. I'm thinking
outfit.
Dragon Ball heroes.
Saiyaman
1,
Saiyaman
2,
1,
3,
2,
4,
3,
and 5.
4.
Wait a minute. In Dragon Ball Heroes, they have up to 5 Saiyamen.
I
Yeah,
think 4 or 5.
It's 4. It's 4. Well, okay, hold on. There's the third one is Trunks, and then the fourth one is Beat.
I thought that
Okay.
was 5th. But something like that, like have those kind of things
I don't think
there.
so. No,
Or
I think it's literally
Ribrianne,
just
Rosie Kakunza, Bergamo, Lavender, and Basil, Jiren, Dispo, and Topo. All those kind of things just kind of teaming up for an big ultimate team attack, like a Legends. Legends has
like, and then
you-
have but then so and then it would be super
like,
cool. Like you got like
if there's
Goku,
specific
Goten, Gohan, Goten,
yeah, then you
Gohan.
end with Family Kamehameha. If it's characters
Yeah,
that don't relate to each other, they'll do some big boom,
Goku,
boom, boom.
Frieza, Super 17. Like just have these these
special finish versus Jiren in the right fucking stage, the Tournament of Power destroyed stage. Oh god, yeah,
like
Dude,
like shit like that.
all these combinations.
Team
Have
I guess
fun combinations. Imagine a super cool one, like just random ones of characters. Yeah, what ifs, dude? Imagine Z Broly, S Broly, Kale.
God,
just the big green, the big green three.
Just get squished by
They
muscles.
start beating us,
and they call the special move the big green.
the big green. That's
but that's kind of what it is. Like I say team attacks. Like
did he freeze for you?
That was weird.
Yeah,
he froze pretty bad, but team attacks are cool, right?
Yeah, am I still frozen?
No, you're good. You're good now.
Obviously, we're talking to you now, so
cool. That was weird because I had the thing. But yeah, like team attacks with like specific team attacks, like that. Rosie Kakunza, Ribrianne, Bergamo, Lavender, Basil. All these things there can have their special team attacks. Team attacks can exist generically, but if you have the specific team, they do the coolest one. That's super cinematic.
Or
cinematic
just like the idea that you could take a trio, like the trio, the Danger, Basil, Lavender, Bergamo, and you can have their special moves basically all be the same thing. Like their ultimate attack is all three of them gang up. One special move for 3 different characters. Granted, the characters aren't going to be exactly the same, but that does save you some space in the game, some design time.
Yeah,
like
for like team attacks, if you have like the same same characters, and then if you have Goten, Goku, Gohan, like if you use any of the 3 for like the team attack, it'll be Family Kamehameha. And there's a lot of those where like just have these characters and you can have these really cool animations built with a lot of these characters. And not every character would. Like let's say you have like Vegeta, Trunks, and you throw like Goten in there, it's not going to do that. It would be cool
Trunks
though.
Goten to do whatever, and it ends with Vegeta's final flash. That's Naruto. The Naruto thing there, I may get some.
Yeah, they just do their own individual things, or like Goten attacks, but because Vegeta and Trunks do a synchronized attack, it plays their animation. But Goten does a little blast thing, sort of a little assist, and then Vegeta and Trunks do their own super cool thing.
The Kakatot attacks, and then the other 2 do their thing.
So for mine, it kind of builds off of something Danger said about Gohan Beast at the end of his last comment. I imagine a character like Gohan Beast, Piccolo Orange, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, all those characters, they will be available in the game at launch. I don't know, maybe, perhaps, could be. Here's where my thought kind of deviated from that, because the new manga chapter just dropped this morning, chapter 103, the last Dragon Ball chapter with Akira Toriyama's involvement. It is so weird to think about that, knowing what the chapter was, but fun chapter. In that chapter, it's basically a Gohan show, and Gohan has his perfected beast form, and he's fighting everybody and showing off his newfound, very, very hardly earned power. But it got me thinking about another thing that happened, and it's basically the idea of they never historically until very recently, and I guess this is probably a thing in Dokkan too, maybe you guys can tell me, they would never release the first animated appearance of a character in a video game before they put him out in the anime. So I think of a character in this instance, I'm thinking of Frieza Black, his black form. That shit dropped at the end of 22. And we all knew that that wasn't going to be animated for a very long time. However, when Fortnite did the Dragon Ball stuff a couple of months ago, whenever that was, 6 months ago, a year ago, when they took it over the Dragon Ball things, they put Frieza in the game, and Frieza does a pose when he spawns that is taken directly from one of those last chapters of the Granola arc. He does not appear to be in his black form. However, he is very evidently referencing that manga chapter. So it's one of the first instances of a character in the manga.
Oh, I know what you're talking. It took me a second. The glider animation. That's what he does. He does like that, like stand pose, and like before he falls onto his glider.
Yes.
That's what it is. I now know. At first, I was like, no, that's just his like Namek pose. I was like, no, because he doesn't do like the hands down. He like does this, like he like poses up. Yeah, that is Frieza Black. Yeah, that's not the Namek one. You're right.
But he doesn't actually look black in the game, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. No, he
but
doesn't.
It is very obviously.
Something that makes me notice he doesn't. Yeah,
it's a reference to that though. So it's one of the first instances of a character being referenced in the manga, and then they skip over television entirely because it's not being made right now and put him into a video game. I'm assuming there are probably examples like that in Dokkan as well, but it makes me ask, will Black Frieza at a certain point, will Granola, will Moro, will any of the OG-73, like the second runner-up big bad in the Moro arc, will characters like that who we've never seen adapted into the anime, I don't know why I said it like that, will those characters be put into the video game before we get to see them on television in an anime setting? Like, I would love to see it. I hope it happens. That thought earlier. It'd be weird. It'd be weird.
It would be weird. I purely out of what I'm expecting, I'm not expecting any of that, because then I'll be disappointed if they don't. And so I'm not even going to expect that at all. It'd be cool. Absolutely. Have they ever done it before? Not that I can remember of any sort of Dragon Ball media. Will they ever do it? Maybe at some point. I mean, who knows? But I don't think they'll do it yet. I think they are not even going to touch it. I think they're going to leave it alone until something happens. My thought, actually, okay, real quick thought that I wanted to say real quick. Do y'all think, obviously they're going to do it, they'll do an anime for it at some point in the next 10 years. Would y'all want them to do movies first of these arcs and then later turn to the anime, same route they did with Dragon Ball Super? Or would y'all want them to go straight to anime?
Straight to anime.
Straight to anime? Because I imagine they're going to anime Super Broly and then Gohan, or no, like so on and so forth. However the arc is, like Broly, then so on and so forth, Granola, Moro, Beast, Gohan, do all that stuff, anime style, obviously. Would you want them to make movies of that at all, or not even touch it?
Nope. I'd rather them not touch it and give them the proper story beats in an anime setting. What's nice about
put all their budget towards anime, not a movie.
Well, I mean, if you want to do a movie, give me a different story that I haven't seen already. What drives me nuts about Dragon Ball Superhero, yes, exactly, like a project like that. What drives me nuts about Dragon Ball Superhero is we watched it. It was a different anime style. We took it in. We dealt with it. Was what it was. Following the fucking not exactly great reception, what they do, they turned around and gave us the exact same story in a different medium. Toriyama basically took the year off and then went and fucking died. So I would rather them not repackage the same story for different mediums, because it is a waste of time. I understand it was beneficial to them as like studio heads who want to have years and years of content to be able to plan out and plan around. What's nice now is shit's been gone for 6 years. So they have the, what's the first one after the Tournament of Power? It's Broly, right? Broly, Granola, Broly, Moro, Granola, Superhero. Like that's
I
four
thought Moro
solid
was
arcs.
after Granola. Am I crazy?
Yes, you are.
Crazy.
Moro is before Granola.
Okay, then I'm crazy then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the sequence of it. I think it's Broly, Moro, Granola, Superhero, and now whatever the hell we're about to enter or go on indefinite.
Because we're on the end of Z stuff, so we're finally caught up with.
My point is, you've got 4 different arcs, and depending on how you want to pace it, I think if they keep it true to a pacing more like Super style versus Z style, you could get a solid 15, 20-ish episodes out of most of those arcs, and that's 80 fucking episodes of a goddamn anime. If you try to build them out like a Dragon Ball Z saga, that's a different story, and you'll be looking at each of those sagas for a year and a half apiece. piece, and I don't think anybody wants that because that's a lot
No,
of filler
not
bullshit.
media nowadays. Yeah, media nowadays is different. I mean, filler's inevitable. Filler's inevitable. I personally like filler stuff. I'm weird. I love filler type stuff. But I could see it not being at that long. Yeah, I can see them trying to fit all these arcs into 100 episodes. Like I
Yeah,
see them doing
let's do
that. Yeah, like 80 actual episodes and then 20 episodes worth of filler stuff, which I
They'll
personally
take one
like.
saga and split it into 3 seasons and just expand further into it when they could have just made it all in 1 season.
I like your attitude, Hayden. I like your attitude.
There's a specific reason I say this. A very specific reason I say this. I've been bitching at for a long time, and Danger should get it.
Oh
no, I got it.
I'm missing the joke.
You're missing the joke, but I get it.
I'll
I
explain
get
it to
it.
you later.
I have it
I'll
over
explain it
there.
to you later, Kyle.
It's over
Word.
there.
So
unopened still.
what
I
do
got
we? Do we have one more character apiece and we're wrapping this? What are we doing?
Yeah, we can do one more and wrap it.
All right.
Oh, no, I got like one more. I got a
one
whole
more
list over
thing.
here.
One more thing we want
Gosh,
added.
one more thing.
Oh,
and
one more thing. Doesn't have to be a character. All right.
No,
cool.
one more
That just
thing.
helps me.
I said in general to correct it. It's basically what we want to see in Sparking Zero, because Sparking Zero is the first big Dragon Ball game, fighting game, and we talked for 15 years.
No, it's not. Everybody,
So
we've been very quick to dismiss
I said
Fighter
15
Z.
years. I'm
No,
talking to Tenkaichi.
Brother, what time? All right, but Fighter Z, do not pretend like that's not one of the best 2.5D fighters to come out in the last decade.
I'm
That
not
shit-
pretend it's not.
that
I
shit-
forget it exists sometimes.
I bought that shit day one as well and had so much fun playing it for months and months and months. And once competitive fighting game people caught onto it, and that's all you could find for a fight on the server, it became the most like intolerable game ever because I'm not a competitive fucking fighting game player, bro. I just want to go on. I just want to go on and blow off some steam and have some fun. And I couldn't even fucking do that. They ruined that shit. But because they all flocked to it there, whether they love Dragon Ball or not, because it was a genuinely great fucking game, top to bottom.
I forget it exists sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, that's on you, dog.
It's to be fair, it's not your genre of gaming. It's not like
it's Dragon Ball. I pay attention to the stuff. I legitimately, like earlier today, I was talking with my buddy, the Sea of Stars guy, and he was talking Fighter Z. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about Fighter Z.
Yeah, because you don't play fighting games.
I'm pretty sure we're supposed to say just fighters, but
yeah, fighters. I say fighters.
It's one of those things. It's like you take it how it is. Like Kingdom Hearts is a game.
You say Fighter Z. I know you're talking about fighters.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you do say Fighter Z, people who play fighters make fun of you automatically. Like it's that kind of thing.
I'm holding back. I'm holding back.
Appreciate it.
I'm holding back. Don't worry. All good.
Last thing. What are we doing?
Okay, so we've talked about fusions. We want fusions. We talked about what ifs. We talked about DLCs. We've talked about like the gameplay. One thing is, and we talked about split screen. We talked about 2-player and co-op and couch co-op. So we've talked about general most of the things. Is there anything that we have not talked about yet that y'all are interested in? Because I mean, you could go on. We could take any of these one topics and talk forever about them. But is there any new thing you haven't talked about yet? That's a topic that you have not mentioned yet.
I want to really. I mean, one thing that I'm enjoying on Budokai 3 on a playthrough, I haven't played the game in a long time, probably at least 6 or 7 years. I'm really enjoying the Dragon Arena, wherein you take a character like a Goku or a Vegeta or one of the many others, and you battle through like a certain set of fights. They keep going up in difficulty the higher you go, obviously, but you unlock experience points and you can add and build your own character from there. So he can be like a really strong defensive character. He can be a really strong focused key-based player.
Choose your difficulty.
It's more like a build your own character in the sense that you're building an original character, right? You can build out
your own
versions of the characters that you play as. So if I play as Vegeta all the time and I want my Vegeta to have a Super Saiyan 4 transformation and rip a final shine and blow somebody's face off like into oblivion, but he's very strong with guard. I want to be able to have that kind of game mode where you can build and use those characters in, I guess, online mode as well as couch play.
I could see them doing that,
as you guys said.
Yeah, but I can see them doing that. I've had this concept for a long time for a game. I swear I've told Hayden about it, and I swear he's called me ridiculous.
So you're going to say another R word. That's awesome.
Radical.
But what I would think that'd be cool if this game did. There's no.
I don't know if we broke him or if Kyle broke himself. It's hard to tell.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm turning into a pumpkin. Let's do it.
Okay. So I think they could do this. They could entirely do this. Okay. in a 3v3 style. 3v3s.
Like fighters?
No.
No,
I mean arena.
Xenoverse.
No, Xenoverse 3v3 style.
Or Battle of Z. It's one of those
times 8. A tournament of power type mode. A
God.
3v3v3v3v battle royale. I've had this concept for the longest time of how there's no way they could do like 8 teams of 10. There's no way. But I could definitely see them doing
2 universes, 8v8. I could see that.
They could do that. They could do 2 universes 8v8. They could do 8 universes 3v3. They could do like 5 teams of 5. Like there could be these different types. That way the servers don't blow up. But they could do these different styles depending on how many people you have. It could be like 20 teams of 2. Just it would be enough to where everyone would be able to fit in with a certain number cap of people, but it would be able to build these teams to where you could fight with people. And it'd be in this massive arena. So you two could be fighting over here, and you still wouldn't interrupt here, and you still wouldn't interrupt here. All rules, like, as long as it's everything within the game, you could go like third party someone. You can wait and just pick people off. You could do whatever fighting style you prefer. You could respect the 1v1s. You could pull a 3v1 because, all of these noobs versus the 1 pro, but these noobs actually beat the pro with the power of friendship. Like you could do all of these really cool things and get these like victories and be really, really cool with the tournament of power type mode. And I think it'd be really, really cool if your fight could be on a broadcast type system. So people could just watch these broadcasts. And if it's a ranked one, you can watch the most high competitive players in a tournament of power style fight. I have had this concept before. I have loved this idea. It would be the coolest thing ever. And if this game could pull that off, a tournament of power type thing, 8 teams of 3, that would be amazing. Just a 3v3 would be cool, but if they could do 8 teams of 3.
2 thoughts on what you just said. One,
cool,
I think that is the best idea that has been pitched the whole night, as that game mode would be super fucking unique. And it would be
awesome. I've had this idea for like Xenoverse. I thought just any game in general ever made. And then Sparking came out, and I'm thinking of how big this game is, how it's only current gen consoles. I'm like, this game could probably run it. This game probably could.
The thought that I have is it kind of ties back to what I said initially about some of the gameplay between, the battle of Goku and Vegeta. It does feel like a humongous world, and it can get real difficult to even spot where your character or your opponent is across the map after there's like a cloud of smoke after you knock them through a fucking mountain or whatever. Imagine that same backdrop, that same massive, you can't see shit backdrop. And instead of just a 1v1, it's a 5v5 or an 8v8 or an 8v8v8, and there's just chaos everywhere. And the camera pulls out.
Do you know when the tournament power starts, there's all these explosions, there's so much, the camera's changing, you don't know what's going on. Imagine that in a live service battle. That'd would be fun as fuck. Amazing. Also, I think to fix the thing that you're talking about is, so one thing that I love about the game that makes it super cinematic, which I could talk about why I think this game will end up being 10 out of 10, and why I think why this is the game that I've told Hayden that it'd have to be super specific game for me to say it's 10 out of 10. And this is so far, until further notice, is the game. But something that's super cool is the UI, the HUD is super minimal. It is top corner screens and a little thing on the side telling you about combos and moves and stuff. Besides that, that's it. You are pretty much watching a show. I think it'd be cool to fit to the situation that you're talking about, is you could add like little like meters, like little like cursors, little, what's the word I'm looking for? Crosshairs, like little sort of crosshair symbols on the character that you're trying to look for. So I think they could entirely fix that just by adding a crosshair. If you want it, you want to break that immersion,
kind of scouter function,
or
like
a scouter
power function.
Give like the crosshair could be like the scouter effect, and that could just lock on the character, like in Xenoverse 2. If you need that, go for it. It'd be cooler if you didn't have it; it would look more cinematic. But if you don't care, if you literally are having so much of a problem to see them, and you need that, go for it. Especially in like a 3v3 times 8 mode, like you would pretty much need that to lock onto the character that you're looking at. And also make it super simple to lock onto a character. Don't make it like you have to look directly at them, or make it to where if I'm looking at one character and I'm clearly trying to lock onto them, I don't lock onto the other guy. They would have to figure out that system, or you can change who you're locking onto. But it would be whoever's within your view, not you're looking at these guys, you switch, but because the net guy behind you is next on the list of switching, you look behind you all of a sudden when you're trying to look the guy next to them. I could see them trying to work out a few of those things, but it's things that I'm sure they could fix easily. But so that would be super cool. And the problem that you have with it could be an easy fix with just a little scouter cursor. Crosshair.
Hell yeah.
So I would love that. Imagine a team of the trio de danger, especially because they're adding these tournament of power characters. As for a 3v3, add 3 from each universe. Add 3 characters from each universe, and we'll get more like the robot characters that like fuse. Like imagine that for a super attack.
The fuck's that guy's name?
Anarisa.
Nomar Garcia Parra. Oh,
the
Ani
giant,
Raza,
the super, just any of their super moves, like they fuse into the super giant guy and just like punch you off the map.
I remember
Could you
Christmas of
imagine?
that year. It was like Christmas 2017 when that episode came out. The big
Could you
fucking
imagine?
fusion.
You're just you're all fighting, and then all of a sudden the great ape appears and knocks someone off, or the giant appears and they hit a guy off. Just imagine that. Imagine fighting and you see Kale and Broly punching at each other. Then all of a sudden Frieza's and Cooler are charging up a ball.
That's they're just grasping
just
each other. It's
just-
like in
I'm
the
just
trailer,
saying.
they're just
Oh, that wasn't a
Make it
booby
to
joke.
where
No, you're
the-
right.
make
They
it-
do have that
make-
thing.
make
What do you think
the
I was
giant
doing?
pillar.
Like you're
That
making a
would end
booby
up-
joke.
How you're talking about to where you won't be able to see anyone. It could be hard to find. Have it be a timer. Have it be have the timer system. Have the okay.
Do
Have-
join us,
making
Danger.
lots of
Join
jokes.
us.
have the tournament. No, have the tournament fall apart as the fight goes on. Have the tournament. Have the thing have a health bar. Have it to where you can't fly. Could you imagine? Could you
No.
imagine?
Those mechanics would be too buck wild. However, I'm into this mode. Let's make it happen.
You're
Let's
welcome.
make them happen.
You're welcome. I've had
Hayden,
this
what's your
idea for
last
the longest
suggestion
time.
to make this game the greatest game of all time?
Oh God, this one's great, and I have hearkened back to a good old fun game on the Xbox 360.
What is it?
Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z.
Wow, that game's so terrible. I have never played it. I heard it was not great though.
Allow me to show you what I
Do I
want to
gotta pull up
see
Discord for this one?
Uh-oh.
I'm
in
pulling up Discord.
this.
Here we go.
I
Oh,
want
But there's
want
anime
character-
styles on Discord.
I want
now.
character customization in the new
Yes.
game.
Wait. Yes. Oh my gosh, this
And
would
the
be
thought crossed
amazing.
my mind. The thought crossed my mind was this specifically. Battle of Z did about when it first released had this a Super Saiyan Bardock, and I can't remember the third thing. And they did a crossover with the I don't know how to unpresent, but unpresent.
Oh,
Dude.
I'll unpresent.
Thank you, sir. But they had a fun thing where they did like a crossover with stuff. I like the customization of that, and I want stuff like that to be integrated into it, where it is Goku and Naruto, or it could just be full on
Dragon Ball
customization.
Heroes outfits.
That too.
Heroes
you could-
Rose,
like,
Heroes Vegito, Heroes Goku. Bro,
Like you just have the characters as they play in. You can unlock new little skins and stuff like that. So whenever you go in,
I could
let's
play
say
as
if it's a
this game.
Goku versus a Goku, as opposed to being fighters level, or it's just off color, you have a Goku wearing that, but he also has like the orange, like his gi underneath that, or you have the blue gi with the
Ooh.
red thing on top of it. The
That's
power
the
pole.
Xeno Goku. I love that Goku.
I love this Goku, dude. If I could actually play as this,
That's
like,
the real
that'd be
Goku right there.
awesome,
That's the Goku
man.
that can still turn into Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Goku would turn that'd be super cool. Imagine it as Xeno
Like,
Goku.
it's just
Xeno
cosmetic.
Goku, dude, Xeno Goku alone could be a DLC character.
I would
Yeah,
love.
and he definitely will be.
Base, Go Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, bro.
I would
Super
just
Saiyan
love-
4 Vegito. Could you imagine a game where you could play a Xeno Vegito with that detail? I'm telling you, that day alone on launch, millions. They're gonna make millions within the hour. Like
and just the
That-
cosmetics. of it, too. That'd be
Millions.
fun. It's a Dragon Ball
Millions.
game. I can't remember what it was. It's a Dragon Ball game that's on Xbox 360 that allows you to do.
It's called Xenoverse 2. You could
It's
customize
not
your
that.
characters. I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
But,
but-
the cosmetics of it, I could feel like having a lot of fun, add a uniqueness to it. That way, it's like Tekken, those kind of games where
I-
you're playing the same character.
Hours alone,
but
yeah, but
You're
but
not
different
playing the
outfit.
same character. Like my
Let me
Goku
tell you
is
right
wearing
now.
Vegeta armor. My Trunks is wearing freaking Broly armor. Broly is wearing the Saiyaman stuff. All that kind of stuff there. I know. Could you imagine that?
That's the funniest combo.
That
you
is
just messed up.
amazing.
That was
Yeah,
good.
I was like,
But
oh,
it's-
cool. Like, because people say like the super buff Trunks looks like Broly. Oh, that'd be so cool. And then- but real quick,
It's
hold on, and it's gone. There it goes.
Good. Anyway,
Story of my life, man.
That's why I feel like, and then they just add the hours of it. Like you have the 100%ers out there who go and want to get everything possible. Adds a lot of content to it, and then you have then you have the crossover stuff like this. So it also goes into crossover with other anime. So even if it's a small cosmetic,
Like Sandland.
and that actually goes into it too.
Yeah, shit dropped today. So if you haven't watched it, you know what I was thinking about today? I think I said it. Actually, no, I talked to Rachel on the phone before I came in to record with you guys. This will be my last fucking thought, and I really have to cut this. What's interesting to me about Sandland, especially knowing more about why Toriyama just passed, having the subdermal hematoma, right? After he passed away, it was interesting online because it became like an online funeral and everyone sharing all these old photos that you haven't seen in a billion trillion years if you ever saw them at all. And some of those photos came out along with an article that was done by some comedian in Japan who is in no way like Toriyama's contemporary. Like he's a younger guy, but Toriyama just liked him for whatever reason. They became like pretty good friends and they kept in touch on a very regular basis. Not that this dude could ever talk about it because like Toriyama's a real discreet guy, but now that dude has passed away, he gave an interview to whatever local paper. I don't fucking know.
DBZ exclusives?
No, don't get me started on that fuck right now. So he tells them that last year he had said something to the effect of like, dude has a brain, like he told this comedian guy, like, I have a brain tumor. They think that they can fix it. They can operate on it, blah, 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 blah. And like, sure, I'm sure that that's what they thought that they could do, but it didn't happen, obviously. And I'm sure in the back of Toriyama's heart or back of his brain, he knew that there was a strong possibility that he wasn't going to be around much longer. And for a long time, all of 2023, every podcast episode, I'm sitting there wondering out loud, why the fuck did this guy just take a year off of Dragon Ball to go make a fucking Sandland anime and video game? What the hell is this about? Now, in retrospect, he obviously had this idea of where his health was headed. So it kind of makes me think about it a little bit differently. It makes me think it really must have been important to him to want to do that. And what he probably realized was going to be some of his last years on Earth.
Mm.
So, you know, that's all really long way to say. Make sure you go watch Sandland on Disney Plus and Hulu, because I certainly will be this week. So
I'm ready for it. I'm going to play the game too, but it sounds like Kyle's ready to go. So
no, I'm just like ready to go more and more because I'm.
Oh, you said
so
cut.
much.
You said cut. So I thought you were just ready to like. I got to bounce.
That is very obviously what I also meant, but I was trying to couch it with my own self-reflection and sadness.
So
but
I'll
you just
cut
had to
this
go
out.
and
That's
make
okay.
it abrupt. All right, no. Don't let the people know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys this right now. You have the right to refuse, but I'm not going to really abide by it. Say hi to my Patreon audience. Some of these dudes might be hearing this conversation right now.
Hi.
Hey, Patreon audience.
That's entirely fine. I figured you'd have a special bonus over there. If not, put it on your main feed.
What could I? No, maybe I'll put it on my main feed in a couple months or something. But
I still need to send you the Dokkan Wen episode. You asked for it, and never did.
You're a bunghole. I have so many of those episodes that I was meant to repurpose on the Super Dope feed, but just never have. But this has been a really fun time. This has been a very fun conversation. Danger, didn't know what to make of you at first, man. You turned out to be one of the nicest people I've met on a podcast in a really long time, except for Hayden, who is the nicest. Outside of his red hair and his apparently buff body, I guess fucking being a farm boy in Arkansas or whatever the fuck is a recipe for being yoked. So good for you, dog.
I'll say that, and so thanks for joining us, Kyle. Danger too. Go check out Kyle and Dragonball Super Dope Advice Pod, and he has like a My Hero thing he does like every once in a while. Go check. that out.
My Hero's been dead for a minute. Kelly is MIA, but yeah, Dragonball Super Dope, the Advice Pod. If maybe there's links in the show notes, maybe there's not. If not, go look them up in your podcast app or YouTube of choice. And yeah, man, thanks again for having me, guys. It was a blast.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kyle.
Of course.
And I guess I don't know when this will be up. It'll be up in a week. It'll be up in 2 weeks. So either be prepared for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or our 1 year special. So yeah.
Woo.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Don't you know that we are so special? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I'm in love with my shape up shoes. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I'm in love with my shape up shoes.